Ladies and Gentiles, it is I, Dick Thunderlips, here for your DTF report, your recaparoo for Week 8 Heroes of Fantasy Football. Hot and heavy on the action, folks. Running out of time before those playoffs start. But let's get right into the nitty gritty, folks, on tonight, Election Eve. Well, this is recorded, folks. Rest assured, if you voted for Dick, it wasn't a vote wasted. Now let's hop right in, hot and heavy, like Dick likes it, with the first matchup. And that matchup was Danny Boy's sorry about your damn luck team going over the Gronk Pirates. Poor Aldo, a buck 28.5 to 78 niner, and Danny Boy goes to 6 and deuce, and Gronk Pirates, Aldo's flagship team, falling to 3 and 5. This dude is trying to claw his way back, but Danny Boy may have just put the nail in the coffin. Let's take a looky-loo at what went wrong for Aldo's team on the right. Teddy Bridgewater coming in for Deshaun Watson, who was on the bye, and boy, did he not get it done. If you remember earlier in the year, Danny Boy went to Bridgewater for outstanding results. Not so much this time. He struggled in the ATL, only dropping 12 points, folks. Derrick Henry looking human with only 17, only 6 for Le'Veon Bell, not doing much despite being in KC. AJ Green back to being an old man. It's like alternating weeks for this dude. 3 points for Aldo. CD Lamb, meanwhile, 8 points. Dallas isn't doing anything, folks. Aldo was desperate, though, stuck him in there, but we'll get to that later. He had some other dudes he could have played. 13 points for TJ Hawkinsauce. Danny Boy wishes he had him. Hollywood Brown, disappointment. Justin Jefferson, huge disappointing week. This dude's been lighting up, only scoring 5 points. And the Baltimore D with only 4 in a disappointing L to the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, folks. And you see her Aldo boy, a little bad management. He had some dudes on the bench. Mike Williams going off for 21. Surprised he benched Devontae Parker, but he only scored 7. And, you don't like to see Demarcus Robinson dropping 16. I mean, in fairness, you're not expecting that. But this dude, maybe Mike Williams, I don't know. I mean, I don't blame him for the receivers he played. I don't know if I believe in CD Lamb, but it is what it is, folks. He needed a lot more than one dude to get over this hump. Hang in there, Aldo. Your dudes are coming back. Your team is still okay. We'll see how it goes. Frankly, on the other side, let's not call it what it is. Chubaroo's been out, and that's cost Aldo quite a bit. Meanwhile, on Danny Boys, the bad man Aaron Rodgers still going strong. He had that aberration a few weeks ago, but the dude's back on track, dropping 22. Alvin Kamara still carrying Danny Boy's squad with 25 points, folks. And Travis Homer, the last second throw in because of all the buys on Danny Boy's team, scoring a big .4. Woof! Picked the wrong Seattle RB there, Danny Boy. We'll talk about that more later. Meanwhile, Cooper Kupp filled it up. So did Corey Davis, baby. Danny Boy liked him, picked him up with a nice claim, and he's been paying dividends ever since. And the tight end woes continue with the big goose egg from Richard Rodgers. And let me tell you something, this dude, Zach Ertz was supposed to be out. Dallas Gogurt was supposed to be out. This dude was going to be the man. Danny's feeling good, finally going to have a tight end do something this week. Gogurt played, he didn't do anything, and Rodgers had 0. That's how this works. Meanwhile, every tight end he's touched otherwise has been going off, popping off. Vandal Scantling, despite hating him, played him anyway, only scored 3 points. Hatred deserved, folks, let's face it. 7 points for Scotty, 2 Hottie Miller, and 21 for the Eagles D. Danny Boy likes to dig up those defenses a week early, and the Eagles paid off with 21 as being the main difference here of what gave him that big gap in this matchup. A lot of hot scores in between a couple goose eggs. And when you get 0 out of a running back at another position, you don't think you're going to score well. But when you're going off, folks. And as we mentioned, lots of dudes on the bye. David Johnson, Gibson, and Cooks. 3 main weapons on the bye. And Julian Edelman, the trash bag himself, injured. No shock there, folks. It's cruising right along here in what was an epic confrontation and a little side event story, folks. Adrian defeated Tyree in a battle of who's Papa by a point. 105.08 to 104.02. And that's not the entire story, folks. Adrian goes to 6-2. Tyree weeps and goes to 4-4 and has aptly renamed his team that he hates stack corrections, and that he does because you know what happened here, folks? When all was said and done, Tyree was winning this game. And that's because the Miami Dolphins had more points than they were supposed to have. Stat corrections kicked in, dropped the score to what you see here, and thanks to the stat correction gurus at ESPN, Tyree's been correctly scored and Adrian got the win. Oh, girl. And all I know is I got an official message from Tyree. He told me to call in. What's that? Yeah. Oh. Tyree says, Adrian, you're still his bitch. Come home to daddy. Love, Tyree. Hearts. Kisses. Tyree now loves stat correction so much, he changed his team name. Let's take a look at what went wrong. Frankly, Lamar Jackson dropped a turd, folks, with only 14, and that's partially what led to this close matchup in the first place. Not much ado, actually, at all. Huge disappointing days from Tyree's team. Darrell Henderson, only 6. Scott, only 9. And the big, big bad day from Amari Cooper with only 1. And you weren't expecting a goose egg from Nelson Aguilar, not lately, no. Travis Kelce tried to put this team on his back. Jonnu Smith continues to disappoint. And if it wasn't for the Dolphins D scoring somehow a million points, 25, and this random Patriot running back doing stuff, Tyree, dude, has points on his bench. Philip Lindsay dropping 15. J.K. Dobbins looking good. But dude didn't play him. And frankly, that adjustment in the Dolphins D did it. The Dolphins D single-handedly almost beat Adrian by themselves, but after the stat correction, not so much. Meanwhile, Adrian still riding Roethlisberger, only 15. 10 from Gurley, 22 from Gio Bernard, looking like a stud. Disappointing week from DJ Moore. I don't know what happened to Vegas. Even Henry Riggs with a tough day. Waller only 7. Just disappointing all around for those Las Vegas players, baby. James Terminator with only 15. Only 15, that was pretty good. Jamal Williams, meanwhile, looking like a stud with Aaron Jones out. And the Rams D with a disappointing 5 against Miami. And, besides, playing Stafford and maybe getting Judge Judy in there, Adrian did what he could. Got barely scraped enough to get by them with the dub. 105 normally wouldn't get it done in a week, folks. But he got it done in a tight matchup against his former friend. We'll see if Adrian can keep it cooking. Maybe Tyree can give him some free consultation help on his way back to the championship. We'll find out, folks. Love those stat corrections, though. And we don't need a stat correction here, as still Beverly Hills, Ricky G picks up a huge, hot and heavy win to pull to 4-4 against poor Freddie's team. Freddie only scored 91. Ricky G with a $157, boy. Shit on his chest. If you take a look at Freddie's team, Tannehill putting up his end of the ballgame with 17, but only 6 for Clyde Edwards. This dude doesn't like Le'Veon Bell in town, no sir. Mike Davis came back down to earth with only 8. Juju doing some damage, but nothing from Deontay Johnson. This dude played the wrong Steelers receiver again. As you can see, Chase Claypool dropped 13, folks. Not that it was going to matter since Ricardo outscored him by about 1 million, folks. Evan Ingram doing some damage. Thielen disappointing. Marvin Jones, get 18. He's like, thank you for not dropping me. Look at me, I might be relevant again. The Saints D with only 7. Freddie still licking his wounds after losing Dak. It's been an up and down year. Meanwhile, Ricky G's looking to do big things if he can keep this momentum going. We'll see. Joe Burrow putting up 18 as he benches Cam Newton, who also scored 18. Totally fair, though. Cam looked like total trash last week. Gaskin's still blowing gaskets with 13. Gallman looking like the Rock Toter with 13. If what's his name, Devonta Freeman stays out, Gallman looks like the man in town. And just in case, Ricky G's got both. Devonta Adams, meanwhile, still being a megastar. This dude almost left for dead, like he's not going to do anything all year. All of a sudden, he's laying it up with 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't know what's going on. Julio Jones with 20. Noah Fantasmic with 11 points. 25 from Tyreek, oh my hill. Allen Robinson getting all those targets, baby. 20 points, 3 for the Patriots D. And that's not all, because you look at this bench. Ebron with 14, and the rookie in Seattle, DJ, wish he was on Danny Boy's team, Dallas, with 22.8 points. Boy, could Danny not be any more wrong about what tight ends to play and what running backs to pick up. Oh, boy. Anyway. Now, Danny Boy went for Eric Ebron. He didn't get him. That's fine. Ricky G traded for him, and he's doing stuff on the bench. Wonderful. I love to see that while I'm getting zero. All Danny boys getting zeros. Meanwhile, Crystal just unloads her cork and her champagne all over the real Flash Gordon, Stephen Naramore. Naramore, in a little bit of a slide, drops to 5-3, only scoring 98 points. It's not good, folks. But a buck 70 by Crystal, the second highest scoring total of the year. Next to Danny Boy's buck 76 in like week 2. The highest total for her was 170. Things are looking good for her after looking shitty the last 2 weeks. She's righted the ship. Let's see why. Russell Wilson scored 1,000,000, and Dalvin Cook scored 1,000,002, folks. This dude, 48 points for Dalvin Cook. He just ran and didn't stop, baby. James White with a pulse. Calvin Ridley disappointing. Robbie Anderson disappointing. Trey Burton with 10. 40 for DK Metcalf. My head's gonna explode. 13 for Jerick McKinnon and 7 for the Bucks. When you look at this team, you'd be like, she had a shit week, right? No, because she had a dude score 50 and a dude score 40. That's a recipe for winning if I've ever seen one. Keep doing that, you'll never lose, Crystal. Golden Tate with a pulse on the bench and not much else to do. But let's face it, Stephen Naramore, tough day for Josh Allen. Josh Jacobs, all of Las Vegas, just disappointing week, only 12. A.J. Dillon, like the third dude in Green Bay with only 4. Sterling Shepard with 15. Shepard with only 15. Good outing for that man. And Daryl, like he went to his crystal ball, Daryl Mooney is going to get a touchdown. And there it is, baby. 17 points for the stud receiver for the Bears, assuming they start using him more. Hayden Hurst showing up with 10. Latavius Murray with 6. And just dudes deploying backup running backs all over the place, getting it done. Not much else on the bench, despite all that work. A couple buys here, a lot of injuries. Naramore's been bit by the injury bug. But can he hang in there? He's still in striking position for those playoffs. Keep the dream alive as we race to the finish line, heroes. And here we go as we take a gandaroo into our reigning defending champion who looks like a piece of shit this year. Jay Sizzle scores 78 tragic points as he drops the L to Matt Segovia's Beans Deep team. Matt Segovia with the throwback going back to the Beans Deep, and it got the job done. Buck 18 isn't going to blow the doors off anybody, but it blew the doors off the former champ. Home improvement, baby. 21 from Herbert. He came back down to earth after scoring 1,000,000 last week. Himes, meanwhile, going off with 21, baby. Perrine with only 5. 9 for Landry. 19 from Fulgham in Philly, filling in for everyone else right there, folks. Green Bay tight end Tanyan finally being relevant again with 12.9 points. Slayton putting up 10. A disappointing Coleman Deuce and a big 16 from the D. You like to see that. Not much else. All zeros down the line on his bench because Hyde didn't play. Antonio Brown's coming back next week. Godwin hopefully won't be hurt. And Drake will be off the bye. If Eckler comes back, dude's still got a legit team. He could win the toilet bowl, folks. He could win the battle bowl. He could win it all. We'll see. He could be the champion of champions at the end of the year, just not the big champion. Anyway, meanwhile, J-Sex destined for shit. Tom Brady still getting it done. Kareem Hunt back to earth where he belongs with only 9. Jonathan Taylor Thomas needs some improvement of his own, only 5. I believe he got hurt in this game. Speaking of getting hurt, so did Kenny Galladay. Left the game early, dropped a goose egg right on John's chest. John loves it there, though. It's fine, especially when it's wet and gooey. 15 for Stephon Diggs was not concussed this week. At 14 from Gronk. This is what I think of Gronk. Should be on Danny's team. It's a bunch of bullshit. Hunter Henry with 7. Joshua Kelly not getting it done with 3. Buffalo with a disappointing 5. And hot sauce and hamburgers got 22 from McCole Hardman. And a big 17 from Matty Ice. Not much else. Baby Shark on a bye. Michael Tomas, I don't know if he's ever going to play again, folks. I don't know what's going on there. If J6 gets all his dudes back, maybe he's got a team. I don't know. Right now, it looks like shit, folks. But hey, he's got Gronk, and fuck you. Because Danny Boy will never have a tight end score more than like 8. And the 8's like the high. I don't even know if that's true. Meanwhile, let's go to another tight matchup. The Professor put down L. 103.7 to 102 as the Professor climbs to 4-4, puts Al down to 3-5. Professor still trying to claw and stay in that playoff picture. His team's good. The score wasn't great, but it got it done. Derek Carr, disappointing, 12. The whole Las Vegas team, like we said, struggled. Melvin Gordon with only 10. Leonard Fournette with only 10. Disappointing. Tyler Lockett, instead of scoring 50, only 7 this week. Calm down, Buckaroo. I don't know what happened because Seattle scored a million, but just not to Lockett this week. T. Higgins with 14. Jared Cook still cooking it up with 16, boy. He's not afraid to get points from a tight end. Go figure. A.J. Brown still getting it done in Tennessee with 12. Adrian Peterson still disappointing with only 2. And a big 18 for the Steelers D. Mike Evans getting benched. He's trying to bench him to get morale back up. Dropped 16. It says, Coach, you should have played me. Oscar's like, maybe next week, boo. Didn't trust Breeze. Breeze scored 19. May Oscar learn his lesson. Maybe he benched these guys just to give Al a chance. Just a nice guy. Just a nice guy. Chris Carson, we know, was out. And Odell Beckham is done, sadly. On the outside, you can't blame the dude. Still looking at C-Mac and his injured reserve, folks. But the rest of Al's team, Patrick Mahomes, just trying to put on his back again. Scored 1 million points by himself, but just not getting it done. 36. 4 from Burkhead. 17 from Justin Jackson. Curtis Samuel with a big 21. Big day, baby. Taking the juice away from the other Carolina receivers. Traquan Smith with a pulse at 9. Kittle 5 points before, probably tearing his whatever he tore. He's probably done for the year, folks. Look for a new tight end, alley boy. John Brown not doing much with 3. Neither is Cole Beasley with 4. Buffalo had a tough day, and so thus did L. His whole flex was Buffalo, baby. And a big goose egg from the Titans D. You don't see that very often, folks, but there it is. Meanwhile, 20 points from Zach Moss. Played the wrong Buffalo player. Zach Moss got it done for Buffalo with 20 points on the bench. Other than that, L's got to turn the ship around. Maybe go to Kristoff for advice, the usual. Al, you're terrible. Oscar Mewell, marching on. Team looks good. What teams don't look good is Zach's team. He's going for the perfect season, baby. He is the last one left. He's 0-8. He's feeling it. 60 points, too. That's how you get it done. Dude, pretty sure someone had someone score 60 this week. Would have outscored Zach's entire team. Meanwhile, C. Jizzle with a 112 like it's nothing. Picks up his 7th win of the year. Goes to 7-1. Goes to first place. Looking good in the home stretch. Let's see where the wheels came off for Zachariah. He turned to Tua Tagovailoa and just frankly got a big 5. I mean, I don't blame the dude. It's not a dynasty draft, but maybe the dude's gonna go off. I don't know. Plus his Gardner Minshew on a bye, and I think he's hurt anyway. Zeke just not eating. Dude, Cowboys are fucking terrible. And Zeke's got nothing to eat with only 8 points. Ronald Joe Hens with only 6. Hold on. Dick still dying, baby, like he's got a dick in his throat. 2 points from T.Y. Hilton. Still showing that he's a trash bag and should have been dropped on week 2. What can I tell you, Zach? What can I tell you? 23 points from Ayuk, a man I believe in, a man we can trust. Jimmy Graham Tam coming back to earth with only 3, just disappointing since he was going off earlier in the year. Denzel Washington Mims with 6 and a goose egg from Greg Olson at the flex. You don't want to take tight ends at flex. Let alone see goose eggs from tight ends at flex. It's just the worst of the worst. 8 points from Dion Lewis. You don't like to see what you see on this bench here, folks. There's not a lot to do for Zach's team. On his way to the perfect record. But maybe he'll win in the, that bowl, the Thunderdome. I don't know, man. Zach's got to turn around. He's still got time to get his team ready for that end game, folks. He might not be making the Final 4 playoffs, but dude's got to right the ship before the games matter at the end. Meanwhile, on the other side, you see C. Jizzle's team. Massively disappointing performance from Baker Mayfield, but it didn't hurt him one bit. Kyler Murray, D-Hop on bye, and CJ still got it done, folks. 7, only 10 from Singletary, only 12 from Montgomery, a big 28 from Robert Woods, a big 21 from Keenan Allen, one of CJ's longtime boyfriends. And then more disappointments from Mark Andrews, disappointing DeAndre Swift, and a great 19 from Tyler Boyd, and an point for the Chicago Bears D. And boy, oh boy, with those buys, CJ skated right past this one, folks. right past this one. He's going to get Murray and D-Hop back next week and be right back on the train, scoring better than a buck 12, and he's going to be a tough one to beat. Hang in there, Zach. We're rooting for you. A perfect season, baby. Now let's take a quick looky-loo at how the standings shake out with only 4 weeks left in the regular season. Crystal falls. Oh, well, it falls. She was already in. Crystal holding strong at second, with C Jizzle still in first at 7-1. Along with Crystal is two other 6-2s. It's Danny Boy, sorry about your damn luck, and Adrian's I won by a scoring adjustment team. Come home to Papa Tyree at 6-2. All that's separating these teams, folks, is their total points scored. And then you've got Steven Naramore at 5-3, the lone 5-3, as all the teams under him are ready to strike, folks. Ricky G 4-4, Professor 4-4, Freddie a sad 4-4, Tyree a sad 4-4. These are dangerous teams in the middle of the pack, folks. You know, the way Ricky G and Oscar are scoring, dangerous. The way Freddie's breaking hearts, dangerous. The way Tyree's getting his stats corrected, dangerous for him. Anywho, there's still a hope for these teams, but the top's got to slip up, baby. I don't know who's matched up with who. We'll take a look at that as we move forward. Meanwhile, the rest of these teams got to right the ship, baby. Gotta make the moves, get ready for the end of the year. Segovia picked up Antonio Brown. I don't know if he's going to do anything, but why not, folks? Meanwhile, Zach's still going for that perfect season at 0-8, and a couple deuce and sixers at the bottom. Meanwhile, let's look at those high-scoring teams one more time. Crystal still the highest scoring team, followed by C Jizzle, Ricky G, and then Danny Boy. That's hot and heavy. Ricky G scoring hot. So is Tyree. And look at this, Oscarito and Naramore up there too. This is where you gotta. It's crazy, folks. It's just crazy sometimes. Take a looky here. That's just crazy. Meanwhile, of course, points against, like you expect. The highest against, of course, Zach. That's how you do it, baby. And, of course, Ricky G. This explains the struggles of the season. There's Oscar. These folks are just getting shit on left and right. And so, despite scoring well, it's been a rough year, folks. Now, let's take a quick look at the matchups for this upcoming Week 9, this pivotal Week 9. Get the claims in. Get the trades in. It's probably too late for claims. I don't know. It's going off tonight. Vote in your favorite claim. Meanwhile, here we go. Danny Boy will clash with Al. Al, if you're ever going to get advice from Crystal, now's the time before Danny Boy puts you down and puts the nail in your coffin, folks. This is a big week for these top teams. They need to keep winning. Meanwhile, speaking of needing to keep winning, 4-4 is facing off as high-scoring Ricky G faces heartbroken Tyree, stat correction machine. Can Ricky G keep the momentum up? He needs to. Whoever team comes out of this, still in the race, folks. It's a tough one. Meanwhile, C Jizzle going up against all those Gronk Pirates who are Gronk-less. But that doesn't stop him from calling his team whatever the hell he wants. So the former Poopy Stains looking forward to try to put a damper in the champ's armor here as CJ looks to hold on to first place in the home stretch. Oscarito, meanwhile, looks to pick on Jay Sizzle, the reigning champ, and continue his march toward the playoffs. And on the other side, this is a big one here. Adrian, who just scraped past Tyree, has to now face the Steven Naramore, who's hanging on by his tips of his fingers, folks. The 5-3 facing a 6-2 pivotal game. Got to get Naramore back in the race, otherwise this could be it kaputs. Back with the rest of the pack, folks. Adrian needs to win. They both need it. They're both thirsty. They're both hungry. And it's going to be a slobber knocker, folks, as Zach goes for the perfect season against Beans Deep. Can Matt Segovia put up another dub and keep Zach in the L column? We will see. And in another big matchup, can Crystal pick up the win against Freddie? Freddie needs the win to stay on the playoff picture and break Crystal's heart and drag her down to those lower level records. That's the only way these dudes are going to get in. This is the pivotal week. If Crystal wins this one, she's one step closer to locking in that playoff spot and just probably knocks Freddie out of contention. This is a huge week for every team here, folks. Pivotal Week 9 coming up. So get your votes in. It's too late for that too, I guess. But if you didn't vote Dick, you're wrong either way. And that's it for now, everyone. As always, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, get your claims and trades and lineups in. Dick's out, baby.